welcome. So yeah, this experience for me was a bit of an eye-opener. Maybe it'll be for you, or maybe you'll know all about it already. I don't know. But anyway, so as you know, I'm Canadian, and I used to live in a fairly small town in Canada. And as people know about Canada, it's a very outdoorsy place. You know, there's a lot of hunting, fishing, and hiking, loads of outdoor stuff, which is great. It's a great country. And there was in the town I lived in, men loved their hunting, and they used to love deer hunting a great deal, and they used to talk about it all year. Right now, deer hunting is about November, so it's the fall, and it can be cold. It can have some little bit of snow on the ground and whatever, but it's about 2 weeks of November is deer hunting, right? And lots of men used to live for it all year. They used to check the tracks of the deer, check where they were going. It was very, very, they were very deeply into it, which is great. It's a good thing. It's a massive industry, and men who hunt care for the wildlife a lot more than people who try to have causes for it. I used to deer hunt as well. Not all the time, not every year, but I used to go. And what men used to do is, like I say, they used to get prepared for it. They used to grow their beards out beforehand so they wouldn't be so cold on the runways or something, because it can be cold. And they'd have a hut in the forest somewhere, a fairly basic hut, where all the men would go, and they'd spend either a week or 2 weeks away from the wife, away from the girlfriend, and just spend it there with the guys hunting every day, right? And there would be beer in the camp, and there'd be eggs and beans and all that. And they used to always have a guy at in the camp that was a gun controller, who, when you went in, they would finish the hunt. You finished the hunt, you would hand the gun to him. He would double check that it's not loaded, and he would put it into a safe place with probably a trigger guard on or whatever. And yeah, we always had that. They always had that. That was one of the main things there, which was great because it kept the hunting camp safe. And no women were allowed, right? No women were allowed at the hunting camp. That was strictly the man's area, right? And the wives should be very happy, that the man loves to hunt, and he goes off and hunts for a week or two or something, and in the forest with his friends, and has a good time, and she should be happy about that, right? I think, right? I mean, women have all their own spaces, loads of their own spaces. Men have hardly any, because women like to get their faces stuck into every man's space, because they hate men being away without them on their own with other men. They hate that. But anyway, so this I didn't hunt for quite a few years actually, in this small town for whatever reason, I can't remember. But this is what I noticed. All right, we've got to bear in mind this is a fairly small town. I noticed that when the men went off hunting and everything else, for whatever, all of a sudden the wives and girlfriends, some of the girlfriends actually as well, who the men were living with, it's like almost married to, ended up down at the local bar in this small town, dressed up. They were all dressed up, and at this bar, and they were going off with other men, right? And I thought, Jesus, I knew this girl, I knew who she's married to, I knew she had a couple of kids, whatever, and there she is, And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, gee, this is not a very big town. There's not a great percentage of married, women and men here in this small town, if you add it all up. But there's quite a big percentage of these women are going down to this bar and picking up men and going off with them. And while the man was away hunting. Okay, so just be aware that, guys out there, this does happen fairly regularly. I mean, not every woman does it, obviously. I mean, but I'll tell you another quick story. So you get 2 stories for the price of 1 here. And I was in the wrong here, right? I went to another town, and I never even considered what time of year it was or anything. I just wanted to have a few drinks in a bar in a small town somewhere or whatever. And I went in there, and I really, I noticed that the bar was kind of lack of men in there, but there was men in there, but not any young men or anything. It was mostly older men, and there was quite a few women. Anyway, I went in there, and I met this girl, and she was talking to me, got on well, we had a few drinks and everything else, and then, things come to whatever, and she said, "Do you want to come back to my place?" And I said, carry on drinking. I said, "Yeah, all right." So anyway, it was a bit out in the bush, but we went out there, got there and everything else, and, things happen, and we ended up in the bedroom, of course, and I was looking at it, was a house, she was in the house, and I thought, well, it's either her parents' house, or it's her ex-husband's house. She's obviously got it after the divorce. I didn't see anything where children were or anything, so and to be honest with you, I wasn't really that wasn't my most important thing at the time, you know what I mean? But anyway, things happened anyway, and it got early morning for some reason. We were still awake, whatever, laying in bed. It was getting quite light, and then we heard this truck door slam, right? And she said, "Oh shit, it's my husband." I went, "What? Freaking hell, you never told me you were married?" And apparently, she said he must be back from deer hunting. I thought, oh my God. So in my mind, I was thinking, Jesus, this guy's got out the truck. He's obviously been deer hunting. He's got a gun in his hand, obviously, because he's carrying it in. That isn't going to be good. So I quickly got dressed as such, went out the back window, down this roof or something, into this field, and just went, right? And just went. And this is many, many years ago, but I want to just say, I'm sorry, whoever that guy was. I'm very sorry. I didn't know. I didn't really know, right? But so it just goes to show you guys, this is how things can happen. And I never saw that woman again, ever. Thank God. God knows, she probably was smiling at her husband, and everything was hunky-dory. Don't know. But just be aware of these things about women. Not all the women like this, obviously. It's just, whatever. There's always exceptions to the rule. But I've seen quite a lot of that sort of thing. That's all. So take it easy, guys.